All right, there are variants in the seventh chords and actually in triads in minor keys because there are different forms of the scale. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this all comes about. First of all, the natural minor scale is the scale that conforms to the key signature. So the relative minor of C major is A minor, and so it has no sharps and flats. And if I listen to that scale, you'll hear that basically it's just like the C major scale, but starting on A. And it also has, of course, this scale degree here that we call the subtonic, and notice that it is a whole step below tonic. On the other hand, if we raise scale degree 7, we get the harmonic minor form. And you can hear the T do, right? You hear the leading tone, right? And you also hear, by the way, the augmented second. So scale degree 6 moving to scale degree raised 7 is the augmented second, and that's something you're supposed to avoid. But the harmonic scale is useful because, well, the 5 chord, as you will see, is often major and the 7 diminished. Anyway, then we have the melodic ascending minor scale, which you might say arises as a result of the fact that you don't want that augmented second. Okay, now the melodic ascending also has the melodic descending, right, which is the same thing as the natural minor. Okay, so if I play this one here and then I play this one backwards, I'd have my melodic ascending and melodic descending scale. And so really, if you think of triads, triads are just taking the scale and stacking thirds above each note in the scale. Okay? So that's what triads are. So A, C, E, B, D, F, etc., etc. And if I take those and just stack them in the natural minor, right, I don't change any of the pitches to make the harmonic or the melodic ascending, I end up with these chords, okay? I get a 1 chord is minor, the 2 chord is diminished, B, D, F, the 3 chord is major, the 4 chord is minor, the 5 chord is minor, okay? The 6 chord is major, and then here's the big 7. So you can see that really 5 minor is very infrequent, but it is possible. And big 7 is not very often found, but it is possible. All right, so now we get to some bizarre guys, such as the 3 augmented. Right here, if I use the leading tone to build a 3 chord, and some of you are doing this by mistake, if I wanted a 3 augmented, I have to write a plus after the big 3 sign. The 4 chord is minor still, but here it is, the 5 chord, which is sort of the most important 5 chord type, right? So that's why it's major, because it's built with the leading tone. Same thing for this one. The 7 diminished is also built with the leading tone. See, so I took the subtonic over here, raised it to create the harmonic minor scale, and notice that the 6 chord is the same here, and that really, if you were writing a progression, you couldn't go from 6 to 7 diminished because you'd have an augmented second. So again, because we get these variants, okay, here is where the big 4 chord comes, because in the melodic ascending minor, I use raised scale degree 6, right? So I also get a 2 minor, I get a 3 augmented again, because I'm using the leading tone, I get a big 4, which is actually not all that uncommon, but as we will see, I get a big 5, I get a 6 diminished, right? F sharp, A, C, and then I get the 7 diminished, okay? Well, once we make these, we'll listen to all 3 of these now. Here's the one if I use this G sharp. Okay, and here's the one if I use the melodic ascending minor to build all the chords, all the triads. Okay, Now, seventh chords are simply triads that have a seventh added to them. Another third is added above. Okay? And most of your common diatonic seventh chords are from this, really from the natural minor. Okay, so 1 through 4 are really the most common forms of these minor seventh chords. And also 6 is major 7 is also common, but this one is a variant, 7-7, which is a major minor 7. Okay, so that one's a variant. Okay, and now again I'm going to use the harmonic minor and do this, and what I end up with is some very rare things. For example, the 1 chord is most commonly little 1-7, which is a minor 7th, so it's 1 minor 7. This is very rare, and I would discourage you from employing it. But here's your 2 half diminished 7, nothing changed using the harmonic form. Here's 3 major 7, here's 4-7, same ones, and here is the very, very frequent thing, 5-7. See, I used the leading tone. I took my minor 5 here, but I raised the third and I get the 5-7, and that one's very frequent, whereas this one, the little 5-7, is rare. 6 major 7, nothing changed, and then here's another one that's very frequent, is 7 diminished 7. So again, if you take the leading tone to build scale degree 7, you end up with a diminished 7, and that's a mistake a lot of people are making. They're using this chord, they're going G, and then they're building the diminished 7th chord, but that's not how it works. It has to be G sharp. You have to find the leading tone to build it. Okay, so to build the 7 diminished 7 chord, you use the leading tone. To build the big 7-7, you don't. You use the subtonic. Okay, so that's something that we're getting messed up with. Now, the melodic ascending minor has mostly stuff that we don't use, like the 1 major 7. There is a 2 minor 7, but that's very rare. The 3 augmented major 7 is very, very, I'll say very, very rare. The 4-7 does happen. That's one of the variants that you might encounter. And then again, the 5-7 is very frequent. And then here it is, the 6 half diminished 7, raised 6 half diminished 7, where scale degree 6 has been raised. And so you take the 6 major 7, but you raise its root, and you get 6 half diminished 7. And then this one, I don't think I've ever seen it or even heard anybody mention it. If I raise both scale degree 7 and scale degree 6, I end up with a 7 half diminished 7 in minor. I swear I've never seen that, so I guess it's theoretically possible. All right, so here's the ones that we get from the harmonic minor scale. Here's the 7th chords. And here's the one that has the melodic ascending minor that has rare stuff except for the raised 6 half diminished 7. And so yeah, this one here though is a variant, but it's frequently encountered. It's one way to harmonize raised scale degree 6. The other way is to use big 4-7 over here. That's the other variance that you will find when raised scale degree 6 is employed. All right, I hope this helps you.